Still ahead for you on this Wednesday afternoon. The community of Westbury is living in fear, heightened fear, they say, as gang violence runs rampant in the area. We'll speak to community leader Jefferson Johnson. He'll be joining us to discuss the issue. Stay with us. Obile, it's Michelle. Can you hear me?
Hi, Michelle. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I've got you. Jefferson, thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it.
Likewise.
So just going to do an interview with our reporter and then we're going to come.
Perfect.
Welcome back. Officials from the Water and Sanitation Department are still in Limpopo, where they've been getting updates on the Giyani Bulk Water Project. The multi-billion rand project is long overdue, more than a decade, but yesterday Minister Senzo Mchunu assured residents that water will be supplied by the end of the year. Well, today, officials are inspecting the Middle Letaba Dam. Let's get you an update with Newzroom Afrika's Nobile Madlala, who's been following the story. She joins us live from Giyani this afternoon. So the mission here, Nobile, is to try to restore 55 communities under the Mopani district in Giyani, right? How is that going so far, and what role does this particular part, the Middle Letaba Dam, play?
Well, Michelle, I can tell you that Letaba Dam is one of the three major producers in terms of water, so ensuring that people do have water. But at this point, when we went to visit it, it does look like there's less water. But we do understand that when it's summer, it tends to have less water. But when it starts raining, then it tends to have more water. And of course, there was that oversight to sort of look at that, and water treatment plant, which is not far from that Letaba Dam. But also another issue here is the streams of rivers that are feeding into the dam, that dam and various other ways of bulk water. And that, of course, was monitored. And you'll remember that in the area here, there's been issues with regards to the villagers saying that farmers are stopping their water upstream, and by the time it gets downstream, it's dry. So there are two issues that are being affected at this point, whether there's enough water for the 55 villages, which we understand that will be produced from the bulk water, the Giyani bulk water supply, as well as the dams. And on the same time, is there an issue with regards to the farmers and the villagers? So I want to bring in the Minister now to give us an update. And Minister, I want to start from the farmers' part, because obviously the villagers are saying that they're not getting water because they feel that this has been diverted. However, I do understand that there has been an investigation. Do you have any results in terms of this is true or not?
Well, firstly, we're in Gendeza, a traditional authority, where we're meeting in Nkosi and his traditional council, and there are local farmers here and associations. All of them. I spoke to Nkosi when we went to look at the level of the dam, Middle Letaba Dam, which is very low, just above 2%, and that's bad, almost dry. Now he has his complaints. The mayors, local mayors, the district mayors, both Bembe and this one, where Mayor Shai is Mopane, they have complaints and they have grievances and they have allegations as well. So we say we would need to come here, but we send officials, they do investigations. So they've just delivered the report but the report doesn't cover all the areas, and it doesn't go far enough. We'll point out those things here, and the fact that the farmers against whom there are certain allegations and perceptions are not here. And therefore, this is just the beginning, where we're going to outline things and how we're going to go about. I had a chat with Mr. Van Zyl, one of the farmers here of ZZ2. He was saying they have been investigated, or he has been investigated around 10 times. And each time there was an investigation, there's been nothing against him. And that's not the main issue why we're here. The main issue is, what are the flows? Whether it's a tributary, whether it's a main river or it's what, where do all flows go? What is happening along the line? Who are the users? What's the percentage that needs to be divided between the users? We know agriculture consumes quite a lot of water. It's about 70% of water that is available anywhere, including as a whole in the country. And the rest gets divided between nature, domestic, and so on. That's what we need to establish here or during the process. And we look at issues of fairness. And we look at operational issues which have been pointed out here by the department in their report, saying there are certain things like licenses which have not been complied with, and there are certain things that need to have been complied with in terms of legislation as far as, for instance, reserve water is concerned and all those issues. But we're not going to exhaust everything here. We just listened to the report, and then we're going to engage further. And we will resolve the matter. You see, water is very sensitive and is very emotional. And once people begin to suffer a lack of water as a result of any holding, whether it's perception or factual, the matter is that it must be gone into and it must be cleared and transparently and so on. And that is what we're seeking.
Minister, how far then is the Giyani bulk water supply? How far is that project?
Well, bulk water supply in Giyani, the first element of the bulk is Nandoni Tunzame, done, completed. And I was looking at this canal from Miglitaba Dam going to Nzame, which is the cause for getting that bulk water from Nandoni, because there is a very shallow flow or a small volume of water that leaves Miglitaba to Nzame. Hence, the new scheme that was needed, and therefore which has been completed now, getting water to the very same Nzame Dam down in Giyani. Now that has been completed, and we want to tell all South Africa, that was completed before midnight on the 5th of March last year. We missed the first deadline of September. And now I hear people confusing a lot of things. We missed the deadline of September. We gave the reasons, but then we worked on and we met the deadline, the new deadline that we gave, which was March. We had said end of February, but it was the 5th of January, the 5th of March. Then we move on. Other things that needed to be done outside the original scope is the refurbishment of the treatment plant in Nzame. But the main thing now that we're focusing on, and we were on the field for the first time since there was talk, even at concept, that you would spend time looking at a bulk within the communities now, not the main bulk, not the first phase of the bulk, second phase, and then reticulation at the same time. And I'm happy to report that bulk lines to communities, there's one that is 92%. There are others that are at 62, 65, and all of that, which means that we're making progress. And I want to challenge any put, as I heard on radio earlier on, how do you say you're at 62 and you say there's no progress? That is progress.
Prime Minister, I think the problem here is that you've got 55 villages that have been waiting, obviously, from a long time, 2010, 2014, down to 2021. They've been wanting this project to work, and everybody wants it to be at 100% capacity. And I want a commitment from you. When can we see it at 100% capacity so everybody can receive water?
Now, let me start from where you end. People are getting water in Giyani, but via boreholes. And in some of these villages, there are 7 boreholes, in others 4, in others 2, in others 3. So people are getting water. We are not happy with the kind of water that they are getting because it's from boreholes. It means they need to walk to some boreholes, to these boreholes. And some have to walk longer distance, and they are old. And that's not our intention. It's a temporal or transitional measure, which we had to do because people can't live without water. That is happening. Some of these boreholes would not work for a month and so on, and we want Mopani to come to speed and repair these each time they break down and so on. So people are getting water, but we're not happy about it. Now, the schemes that I'm saying are at 62, 65, 92, are coming to take over from this.
When though?
We're dealing with phase 1 of that, or if you like, 24 villages out of a balance of, out of the total of 55. Now, one of them, I think it's, I can't remember the actual name of the village, will have, that bulk line will service 17 villages out of the 24. And it's a 62%. Now, that one is going to be completed in June this year. Others are going to be completed in September because awards were not done at the same time. So it's between June and September. And we are here. And we go to the bushes, follow pipes, to make sure that things are connected, and to make sure that there is water inside, to make sure. So we are pushing very hard, and it's going to happen. But at the same time, what is good now is that we have done reticulation parallel or together with the bulk. So you will see that in one village, while we are at 62% with bulk, we're at 65 with reticulation. So it's going together.
Minister, I want to ask you about the contractors, obviously, because that's also been a major issue. There's been a reaction, obviously, in the villages where you have seen some of the royalty also coming up. We've seen in the past where there has been a reaction to that, and we've also seen a reaction to the contractors. Those that do not finish on time, are you going to penalize them?
Well, those contractors that don't finish on time, some have been deprived or have been stopped already, stripped of the contract because obviously they were not complying. But there are other teething issues like delayed payments to subcontractors, and they would stop the work from happening until, like on Monday, we resolved that particular matter. But there are those who didn't get contracts, and they regroup and then become a pressure group of their own, and they disrupt what is happening already because they didn't get a contract. You need to meet them and explain. You didn't get a contract, or you didn't get contracts because of 1, 2, 3. It takes a while. So there are those teething issues. But let me say this: the bulk scheme and the reticulation in Giyani is too advanced for us to be focusing on those things. We resolve them along the way. We now need to focus on getting to the end of everything, which is water coming out of the thousands of taps that are already there. There are 37 contractors on the ground. 37, just doing reticulation. There is nowhere in the Republic of South Africa where one area is getting so much attention. 1.3 billion, 37 companies, just for 24 of these villages. Then we'll do the balance later on. And it should be about 43 or 42 of the contractors at that time. We're learning, we're smoothing things, we will get there.
Thank you very much, Minister. That's Minister Senzo Mchunu just speaking to us, of course, about the progress that's taking place here in Giyani and also Limpopo as a whole. But of course, Michelle, I think what's coming out of there is that they're saying that they are monitoring the progress that they're seeing on the ground. However, for those that they have not followed the line, they're saying that they even cut down on contracts. So there's quite a lot that they're dealing with. At this very moment, they are at the Royal Home, and there's some of people here that are speaking to them with regards to the complaints that they have with the project.